Hi guys, it's Macy. I am finally around to making weekly videos. I bought my own MacBook and I now have like an editing device, and it's much easier for me to upload pictures from my camera roll into my laptop now rather than doing it from my phone. So expect a lot more videos. And if you guys want a specific kind of video, I would comment that down below so that way I know kind of what kind of content to make. But yeah, let's get into the video. So this video hits a little bit close to home, so if you're triggered easily and are like kind of sensitive to the whole depression and cutting, I would click away now. But this is going to be my story, my depression story, my cutting story, also my kind of experience with it and tips on how to overcome it and how I overcame it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my story and kind of like what I've dealt with and kind of like the disorders I deal with on a daily basis, and that's how this video is kind of going to go. And then right at the end of the video, I'm going to give on tips on how I've overcame a lot of these things and how I deal with it on a daily basis. So if you're looking for those tips, I would click around to the end. So yeah, that's going to be it. Okay, so I have been noticing symptoms since I was like 13, is that when I kind of like realized that a lot of these things were going on. Depression was mainly what hit me when I was 13. I obviously was very sad and I cut myself a lot. Like that was the year I started cutting myself, and things were pretty bad. Like I would slice my entire like upper wrist, my entire upper thighs, and like near my kneecaps, and it was a way so I could hide with t-shirts, my sport shorts, and my volleyball knee pads. That's why I cut right near my knees and why I cut above like near my thighs. So that's where I did it, and it got pretty bad. Like I would do it every single night, and I would sometimes do it in the morning. It depended on the day. I would cut about on my wrist about 30 times and on my thighs about 50 sometimes. I would use like pencil like sharpeners, the blades from there, my razors, anything I get a hold of, like razors that you put in like pocket knives. It was pretty bad. Like nothing like scarred super bad. It was never to the point where like I needed to get stitches. They were pretty like light cuts, but they were cuts more nonetheless. Like it got pretty bad, and I refused to get help, and I really just didn't want the help. I didn't think anybody would understand. I had friends and I was like, I got help, mom, like don't worry, like no big deal. And like she was like, Mace, like you need to go see somebody. And I was like, I really don't need to see somebody. So that happened all the way up till like I cut until about last year. Like last summer was when I made the New Year's resolution. So like 2015 going into 2016 was the year that I decided that was going to be my New Year's resolution, was not to cut anymore. So I made a whole year without cutting myself, so I'm very proud of that. A lot of things were going on at my house, and that I guess contributed to it, and I felt like if I like inflicted pain on myself, that maybe it would like mask the internal pain I had for like everything around me. It definitely did not work. Like I to this day, like I still don't understand why I did it. It became so addictive to the point where I wasn't even sad at sometimes. I would just cut because it felt good, and that's definitely not a habit I would recommend for anybody. Like go to like different methods. And also alternatives to me cutting, I would like take my nails and dig them into my skin and pull chunks of my skin out, and that sounds really bad and it's really bad. I would take like rubber bands and I would snap them until it like bruised, you know, like till it started getting like little black dots around my arm. It was pretty bad. So when I got put into foster care at age 15, I think I was 15, I had to go see a psychiatrist and get like a psychological exam. They diagnosed me with bipolar depression, anxiety, like just bipolar disorder in general, borderline personality disorder, and there's a few other things that like kind of were in there, but I don't remember quite what they were. Like I don't have it on me, like my mom has it. I don't have it. I don't believe in a lot of that exam because a lot of it I knew what they were triggering, like which like disorder they were targeting, so I purposely like avoid answering certain questions to make me look more normal, I guess. I know I suffered with an eating disorder, which was binge eating disorder. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like where you eat, it's like reverse anorexia in a sense. Like I thought I was too skinny, so I would binge eat until I gained weight, and like as soon as I started seeing myself lose weight, I would try to gain weight. It was just an endless cycle of me just eating, and I have learned to love my body now. Like if you guys want a video on that, I can definitely do a video on that. Like no big deal, I can totally do that. But yeah, I am not medicated. I chose not to be medicated because I don't want to become reliant on drugs. I kind of just want to deal with these things, and it causes a lot of stress, and it's a lot of patience is what it takes to be like not medicated. I've been offered like meds for antidepressants, things to calm me down, and I have chosen not to be medicated. With that choice, I deal with a lot of anxiety. Like, things will hit me all at once. Like, my depression comes in waves, so it'll come and hit me really, really fucking hard. Like, really fucking hard. And I will become depressed. And my anxiety never turns off. Like, that's not something that comes in waves. That's always there. And I can make a video on, like, my anxiety and my panic attacks and, like, how I overcame that, because that's a completely different story. But my depression does come in waves, and my bipolar will hit, and my mood swings are pretty bad, and same with my borderline personality disorder. It all hits at once, and it becomes so overwhelming to the point where I just feel like I'm trapped, and I can't explain it, but I have chose to live every day in a positive light and deal with things on my own. Like, I don't feel like I need medication, and I'm dealing with things well. So yeah, I ended up in the hospital twice at age 13 and then 14 for suicidal attempts, and they were both on the same day in March. Coincidentally, I didn't realize that till they like pulled up my record, like, you were in the hospital the same day last year for a suicidal attempt. So that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago almost, and it was pretty rough. The first time I had swallowed pills, I don't remember what kind of pills they were, but I did swallow them, and I immediately screamed for my sister to come downstairs and call the ambulance. I said, I just took a bunch of pills, and like, I need to go to the hospital now. And I don't quite remember. I was really fuzzy that night. I don't quite remember everything that happened, but it's not an okay path for me to be down, and I've since then recovered since that. And the second time, I don't remember exactly what happened. I think I was threatening to kill myself, and I said, like, if the ambulance doesn't show up now, I'm gonna end my life. And they almost admitted me to a psych ward. So really, if you guys need somebody to talk to, I'm always there. I get what you're going through. Like, I really do. I've been to the lowest of lows, and it's not a good place for anybody to be, honestly. And I wouldn't change that experience for the world. Like, it's taught me so much. But yeah, that's about my story on this whole thing. Like, there's pieces obviously I'm missing. I can't get every single detail about like why I cut myself and things, and you know, like, I saw like counselors here and there, but in the end, like, I did what was best for me, and that was expressing my opinion via social media and to other people. So here's the tips I have for people who are struggling through the same thing. If I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking down at my computer to try and get the tips that I had already written down in case I forget any. The first tip I have for anybody is writing down a positive reminder and hang it somewhere where you'll see it every day. I used to write cute quotes and just like positive quotes, like things like "you're beautiful," like "you're worth it," and I would hang it around my room. And so that way when I woke up, the first thing I saw was that positive reminder, and it really, really, really helped empower me every morning. My second tip is always wake up with a positive mindset. If you wake up every morning thinking your life's gonna suck, then that's the kind of life you'll live. So if you wake up every morning thinking today's gonna be the greatest day you'll live, then I have a feeling that your life, your positive outlook will change a little bit of your life. My third tip is always surrounding yourself with people who have the same mindset as you. So if you surround yourself with negativity, then negativity is what you're gonna get out of life. So if you surround yourself with people who are negative, you're just gonna get negative results back. If you want a positive life, surround yourself with people who radiate positivity. Like, radiation goes a long, long way. Fourth, I believe, is what I'm on. This tip sounds really bad, but it's always like put my life into perspective. I always say, remember, it could always be worse. There are people out there who are starving and who don't have medicine and don't have a house, and you know, like, things could always be worse. And I always reminded myself that. I was like, I'm being fed today. I go to school. I have clothes on my back. You know, and it puts your life into perspective, and it makes you appreciate the things that you do have. Number 5, and I will say this over and over again. This is like my go-to. Do more of what makes you happy. If going outside and walking for hours makes you happy, go ahead and do it. If watching anime for hours on end makes you happy, go ahead and do it. If watching YouTube videos all day makes you happy, go ahead and do it. If making YouTube videos makes you happy, do more of that. It will change your life. If you do more of what makes you happy, there's no doubt about you will be a happier person. 6, this is more like a DIY, and I could kind of do a DIY in this, is write down things that make you happy every day. Whether it's 6 things, whether it's 1 thing, just write down what makes you happy every day, so that way when things get bad, you can pull things out of a jar or a bucket that make you happy. And I promise it'll be like super refreshing to see that things that are good do happen in your life, and it'll constantly remind you to always be happy. Number 7 is getting help. I know to a lot of people talking to a counselor is not like an option, but I really, really do recommend seeing a counselor. Like, whether you want to admit it or not, talking about your problems is the best way to solve them. Especially somebody who's trained in that field, and they can give you honest advice on what to do with your life. Counselors are the best option, honestly. And like, I mean, they don't work for everybody, but counselors are great options if you're looking to like get your opinion out and get your voice out and like tell your problems to somebody. The best person to tell it to is a counselor. Last piece of advice is talking about it. Talk about it or write it out. Writing is a big outlet, whether it's drawing your problems, writing about it, just doing something creative to get your ideas out of your head and onto something else so you don't have to worry about them all. It's a great idea, honestly. And if I think of any more tips, I will leave them in the Dropbox. And I don't know what else to say. Like, honestly, depression's able to be overcame. Like, you aren't stuck with these things for the rest of your life. It's just a matter of how you choose to deal with it. So if you guys want any more videos like this relating to like disorders and things like that, I can definitely make more videos like this. All I gotta say is I hope you guys choose to live your life the happiest it can be, because life is incredible. Life is amazing when you start looking at it from a different perspective. That's all today. I hope you guys liked this video. I really enjoyed making it. I like talking about this kind of stuff. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. It should be like down here or down there. I don't know. It should be there. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for now. Bye guys.